Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm Alicia Haygood. Guess what today is? It is our 200th episode coming out right now. A big deal. Thank you, each and every one of you out there that tunes in each Monday to listen. We're very excited to have you back. And we're going to celebrate with our January cover of Scottsdale City Lifestyle today, Jason Rowell. So when we get back, we're going to have him at the table telling us all about how to continue our full health fitness journey. And that's not just physical health. So we'll dive into that in a minute. Buying a home can be scary and sometimes frustrating, but all of that can go away with the right realtor. And that's where Shawn Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here for you. Shawn has over 25 years experience in real estate. She's here to get you what you want and won't settle for less. She's experienced, knowledgeable, and understands this market, which these days is always changing. Take the stress out of your next home purchase by calling Shawn at 480-734-7277. You can also find her at theshackletongroup.com. You might recognize him from some TV appearances. Maybe you listen to his podcast, Get Inspired with Jason Rowell. Saw him on the cover of Scottsdale City Lifestyle January issue, or you're one of his clients at Caliente Fitness. I'm trying to roll my R's, but we'll see. Regardless, Jason Rowell is at the top of his game. That being his mental, emotional, and physical game. That's what we're talking about here. And he's here to teach us how to win that game too. So we'll learn how Jason went from the fat kid in the corner to fitness guru, because like me, and I've talked about this in the past, Jason, food is like my crutch when anything in life is changing. So I want to talk about your weight gain started very early on in life. You talk about how at 5 years old, you found out you were allergic to about 90% of foods, and the medication they put you on put you down a downward spiral. So tell me your story about how we went from 5-year-old fat kid to hottie bo body here in your 40s.
Right. Oh, I'm going to tell you, because it's a roller coaster. First off, Alicia, thanks so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm so excited.
It's a dynamic pleasure, may
I
I
love
say.
it.
Look, I grew up in a household. My dad is from Spain. My mom's half Spaniard, part Puerto Rican. Lots of food. So a lot of times people assume it was only because of the food, which it was a big portion of it. But I unfortunately was allergic to almost any food that you can think of. Tomatoes, chicken, steak, even rice. So
that's all your 4 core food groups in that family.
Yes. So what happened was every year past the year of, when I was 5 years old, 6, 7, I was just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. At about 12 years old, I was almost a size 38 waist.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, and so the medicines that they gave me at the time were healing me, but also they were unfortunately hurting me.
Okay.
When I say hurting, it's kind of like, imagine if you were to give a child steroids. So they're blowing up. I was definitely taller, right? Even though I stopped at 5'6", right? So it's such a weird effect. Healing, but I was blowing up from height-wise, width-wise.
Okay.
And it got to the point where I can feel, I don't want to get too emotional, but I can feel the skin stretching on my own body.
Ouch.
And I was like, Mom, is this normal? My mom, because she loved me, and unfortunately I was getting bullied at school, she's like, no, it's okay, it's the medicine, yada, yada. But it really was a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
My mom didn't want me to die because I was a premature baby as well. So there's a lot of complications. So fast forward, the medication wore off, thank God, but the weight didn't.
Yeah.
The weight just got worse and worse, and my mom did not want me to die.
That's a good mom.
and she kept on feeding me. She kept on feeding me. But and she's like, whatever you want. And my mom's working 3 jobs at the time. They're rocking it out in Queens, New York. They have an awesome car dealership. So they're thriving financially. And as long as, old school values, as long as we're feeding our kid, he's got a roof on top of his head, he's good. But fortunately, my mom will tell you if you met her, and she is my best friend, she neglected a lot of that.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, he's healthy now. But I was getting my ass beat at school just because I was different.
Yeah.
I was rounder. I was a guy named Jason that was Spanish. My first language is Spanish, so my father didn't even know how to speak English. So imagine going to school and they're like, mira, uy, you're trying to be Spanish. And I'm like, but I am. Soy de España.
So you had no identity in anything in life in that
I was
sense.
a lost soul.
Yeah.
Lost soul. And my best friend was food, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Right? I would go back and forth and back. According to my family, because, we had a big family, I was the black sheep, right? And nobody believed in me. Everyone made fun of me. Even my family members, including my own father, right? He would always compare me to everybody in the neighborhood.
This is a big point. Your dad was a bodybuilder. And so he has the fat kid in the neighborhood, and he's all built and healthy. Yeah, probably pissed him off a little bit, and he let it out on you, I can assume.
100%.
Yeah.
Because according to his standards, right, my child is supposed to be like me. Awesome, lift weights, be the athletic kid, and I was the complete opposite. So he had that turmoil. Now his father, which we'll get into later, comes down to childhood trauma. His father yelled at him, beat him senseless to make him become a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
My mom, she wasn't allowing that shit. Part of my French, she was like, no, and because my mom had a stronger weight on it, which is why we're best friends now, thank God, I don't even know if I would be alive, but my father was literally always making fun of me, comparing me, and mentally and emotionally, I couldn't fight him, obviously.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything, and I would literally just eat myself to sleep with a bag of Oreo cookies each night.
It's sad the influence that our friends and family have on us, and we forget that sometimes until it's too late and we go back and deal with stuff, kind of things. So you come out, your parents end up getting divorced, your mom's now a single mother trying to take care of you. You drop out of high school and start working to help your mother, amazing son, but you chose the wrong job because the fat kid should not be working at McDonald's.
And boy, was I loving it. Woo!
I love it. You start working listen, at the end of the day, you do what you have to do for your family. Like, not making fun of that, mad respect for that. But that was not the safest place I should use for you to be in your vulnerable state. Talk about how that really just continued your downward spiral before you got your together, in all honesty.
Yeah. I mean, look, so when my parents separated, my parents went from having nothing. They were like porters and Trump hotels, no joke, like cleaning all of the floors and the tiles, to later having a thriving business in New York. So they became very financially healthy, to say the least. But with that later, the divorce, let's just say my father kept everything.
Yeah.
Very, very one-sided marriage. And my mom had to do what she had to do, work as many jobs as possible. I quit high school. I'm working at Mickey D's. And because we don't have the best of foods at home now, like we used to, that's why I'm explaining the backstory. I'm like, ooh, we got some frozen apple pies. And anybody looking?
Yeah.
Oh, I get 50% off. Mind you, at the time, we're talking years ago, I was getting paid $4.25.
Actually, a lot back then.
Right? So, God, did I just give out my age?
It's okay, me too. I was getting $2.13 plus tips. We'll just go there, yeah.
So get this. I was just taking advantage of Mickey D's. Yeah. And then that fast forward, I ended up working at Taco Bell, getting fired. I mean, I was never a bad kid. I was just a lost kid.
Yeah.
Big difference. No mentorship, no nothing. But my mom at least always made sure I was good. But things unfortunately got worse. I kept on just eating and abusing food till I got to the point close to college. 21. I reached my rock bottom, 225 pounds.
I was going to ask you, what was your heaviest weight? Yeah, 225.
225, which for my height, if you were, say, an average 6 foot tall, it's equivalent of 340 pounds. I just need someone to understand, because a lot of times people prejudge, so let me explain to the audience and yourself. For every inch of height you have to count 5 pounds. And I say that because a lot of my clients are females, mothers, okay? And the reality is a lot of times we're very harsh on ourselves, saying, I need to be a size 5,
right,
6. I'm like, if you seem like a tall girl, 5'7", 5'8", don't be so critical on the weight, what that scale says. How you look, how you feel, and how your clothes fit is what makes you genuinely a badass. True story. But to not get diverted, I was a size 40 waist. My stretch marks were all the way up to my belly button. And when people ask me what was the exact moment, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Back then, I used to smoke weed, bleezies off the Wheezies, the whole shebang Zeezies. And I was watching, do you remember the infomercials of Body by Jake?
Oh gosh, the workout equipment stuff. Yeah,
follow Body by Jake because we're... So I'm sitting there, high out of my mind. I'm in college. Okay. Lost soul. And I'm eating Oreo cookies, my favorite. And I'm like, look at Jake, I'm trying to get, no, I'm not motivated. But I'm more worried because I dropped a cookie. Can't find a darn cookie. I'm literally laying, so say there's a back wall in my bed, put the light on, I can't find the damn cookie. I look all around, where's my damn cookie? I look down, it's on my fat stomach. The whole time. That was the moment, it felt like Jake, it was like that divine intervention. Yeah. Where it's like, fat boy, get your shit together. Yeah. And from that day on, I decided to change. And I say this, change starts here. Yeah. But it has to start with a pain, which I always say, turn your pain into purpose. Okay. Because if there's not a purpose behind it, and I say this, I've been hired to help people change physically thousands of times. Yeah. I've helped women lose up to 180 pounds. Wow. But they still weren't happy. Why weren't they happy? Why?
Because everything internally wasn't fixed. And let's talk about that. You have a whole health approach. And we kind of talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but it's like your approach reminds me of anything that has to do with addiction. Your addiction was food. I've had addiction food issues on both terms of not eating anything to eating too much. Like I've been on both ends of that spectrum. And you say you cannot be physically healthy until we work on this and this. What mentally happens, emotionally happens will change our physical appearance because we have to have those two and all three working together to be whole health. Mm-hmm. I could not agree more. So talk about this philosophy, how it works with our physical body, because I don't think we can physically change until we heal some of the other things that are going on internally with us.
110%. So most people in life are constantly on the go, go, go. Yeah. Right? They have children, they're busy, they have 2, 3 companies, whatever, or even if they just work for an employer, we're all busy. Mm-hmm. But they use that as a clutch to find instant gratification. Yeah. Right? Whether it's...
I'm guilty of this at some point, yeah.
We all, as humans, we've done it, or we still do it. Yeah. And this is where we find solutions in the most mundane, like, it could be an Ozempic shot. It could be diet pills. It could be going on keto. Yeah. It's a quick fix, a quick Band-Aid of sorts, right? What happens is we never get to the core issue, right? Just like, look, I'll give you an analogy that one of my mentors gave me, and this is solid. The mattress in your bed, right? You may love, say, a soft, nice, cushiony mattress, but it's not good for your back, especially if you have suffering pains, right, in your back. If you continue to go back to that soft mattress, you're going to continue to have pains. Now, I want you to connect that analogy with relationships with yourself, relationships with your friends, business partners, significant other. Always. Because it's comfort. If you grew up being mentally or physically abused, you're going to probably end up dating or having friends that are toxic like that. Yeah. You got to take a step back, just like with our food, and say, is this healing me? Is this making me feel amazing? Do I feel empowered? Or is this hurting me? Do I feel that pain?
And I don't think we focus on that. We don't focus on what we feel. We don't have time for that. So,
Ding, ding, ding. Alicia, right here, you said it. We don't have
the golden ticket I won.
That's it. Yeah. Time. Time is the most valuable thing we have in life. And if we don't sit back for even 5 seconds, right? Like I always tell people, triple check everything you say, triple check everything you're about to type. Because your first 3 to 5 seconds are purely reactionary and emotional.
I like that, sure.
If you pause, you're not driven by your ego. Your ego is a totally different entity, right? Your brain and your ego, Alicia, is one. You are Alicia, right? Your ego, right, is reactions. Ooh, food. Ooh, yes, give me sushi. Give me chocolate. Por favor, dame chocolate. But you know chocolate is not going to give you the caliente.
No, but it does taste delicious.
Yes, but there's a time and place for everything.
Yes,
It's okay to be naughty.
Yeah.
I tell my clients, depending what level you are, you either get 1 cheat meal a week or 3. And you enjoy life. Oh, hello. I have 3 cheat meals a week. Why? Because I love chocolate. I love pizza. I love empanadas. I like chimichurri con arroz con habichuelas. Don't get me. Hello, you're talking to a former fat piggy, okay? Don't
Spanish fat piggy. I love it now. But yeah, it does. So how do we start? I want to say, what's one simple thing? One simple thing. Yours was finding the cookie on your fat stomach.
Yeah.
What's that one thing to be like, just do this one thing right now. Start with this one habit. And then you can go to the next one, and then the next one.
Whether it's your food, whether it's the relationships in your life, I want you to connect with the crappiest feelings that you feel, right? To give you your why. If you're overweight, stand in front of that mirror right now, butt naked, right? And ask yourself, is this what I want? And I'm happy. If you're happy, and I'm not telling anybody that you need to have a 6-pack.
Yeah.
That would be lying to you. You be happy.
Yeah.
Right? If anything is causing you issues, study, right? What is causing this pain? And ask yourself, do you want to live with the pain or do you want to change that? Because that's the first step. After that, you already made a decision. You take action.
Yeah.
Action by either improving your life, not, oh, let me start going to the gym.
No. You'll get turned off right away.
100%. We all need accountability.
Yes.
All of my programs are to people. I tell people, if you're going to do any of my programs, and I have a program called Caliente Mind Body 12-week, mind first, then body, you have to work with me at least once a week to hold you accountable, to cheer you on, and not for you to be rushed and excited on adrenaline, because anybody can be excited on adrenaline. Like, you know what, Jason, I saw you on Scottsdale Vibes, and I always tell people, do not hire me. And they're like, well, I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I need you to want it bad enough. Then come talk to me.
Yeah.
Because
they won't have the consistency aspect.
No.
Yeah.
And look, perfection is overrated. Anyone that you and I or the world watching or listening right now that's excited about other people, boxers, celebrities, whatever it may be, they're all human like you and I. They don't make any difference. Yes, they may be talented, but they were consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency overrides talent.
Well, let's talk about that, because we are very much a society of right now. You know, we're headliner readers, we're instant gratification. People forget, how long did it take you to get fat, Jason? Not overnight. You know, like it took some decades work.
Yes.
Did a great job at it, by the way.
Thank
it sounds
you.
like.
Woo!
But for real, we want to be healthy. We want to take care of our mental and physical health. It takes time. How long, honestly, did it take you to lose the weight and to start feeling confident in yourself?
Losing weight for myself and most people, you lose weight, you gain weight. You
Yes.
lose weight. It's like
and
this.
that's where you get discouraged when that starts happening and you're like, screw it, I'm out, you know? So for you, like, yeah.
What I tell people that I experience and what gets me going and anybody going, don't go based on, first of all, throw the scale away or at least keep it at bay, only using it once a month for just a little bit of like, how am I doing? Why do I say this? Alicia, you and I can wake up in the morning, right? No clothes on. You can weigh yourself. And by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you may weigh 1.5 pounds more.
Yes.
Which is, you see what I'm
Normal,
saying?
but
right?
still pissy.
Right. It's annoying. But this is why we don't rely on it, right? Now, how we actually gauge and what caused me to stay consistent, I was gauging everything through my pants sizes.
Okay.
So say, for example, I started, say my highest was a 40. And then I went down to a 38. So right when I wanted to up, guess what? I would look at my pant sizes. And here's the other trick that I did for myself and my clients now. It's still to this day. Say you started with me tomorrow and you're like, Jason, by August, I want this because I want this sexy dress on. I'm going to say, I want you to buy this dress in the exact size you want it.
Okay.
Right? The power of the mind, the power of that vision board comes a reality when you feel it, when you touch it, right? The law of attraction, which I know you're very well aware of, is real. Look what you've manifested. Look what you're doing in Scottsdale. Premier magazine, a podcast that's known nationally. Mm-hmm. You didn't just wake up and be like, skippity-doo-dah.
No, I did not.
And what did you do? See, because we have the answers inside.
That's funny. I never really thought about that because it does, as a business owner, a small business owner, an entrepreneur, it takes consistency day in and day out. And you're not, even on those off days, you have to make up for those cheat meals, right? Like for those cheat meals, you're making up for it again. You just do a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I never really compared the two because this is easier because I think you see the results quicker. Growth-wise is what you have to focus on because growth-wise as an entrepreneur and small business owner, no.
Sure.
But like I can record the show and put it out and I saw something happen, right?
Right.
You're not always getting that when you're working out or working on your mental health.
Right.
But it's the consistency of keeping it.
But it took you a while, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
years.
now that, imagine, you're on my show, I would flip it on you and be like, okay, guess what? You worked your butt off to get to this point.
It's still there, trust me.
Yeah. Woo! Keeping it caliente. Scottsdale vibes with Alicia.
Yes.
All right. No, true story though. Whoever's watching and listening, you busted your butt.
I did.
To get here. And you got to where you're happy. You don't settle. That's when you work harder.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, we're at 200 episodes today. I mean, that's huge.
That's
because
humongous.
Of consistency.
Right? Same thing. Take I love another guy, Pitbull, right?
Love him, yeah.
He was an outcast. He was a Spanish albino that was literally ridiculed and mocked for looking how he looked. Fast forward, he got that huge amount of fame. That's when he worked harder.
He did.
So when you ask me, I'm going back to what you asked me 5 minutes ago. When I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I lost 20 pounds in the first, say, 3-4 months. That pushed me enough to say, let me keep going. Where people F up, they get complacent.
Yeah, that's what.
And they're like, hey guys, look at me now.
That's exactly it.
And I'm like, girl, you still, But she got too comfortable.
Yeah.
Most people get comfortable. Same thing, everything, whether it's your career, your relationships, we get comfy. You ever notice you're married, happily married?
Yes.
Have children.
Yep.
Do you show up, right, and just say, oh, my husband's going to take however I am every day? Maybe you do. I don't know you personally. Maybe.
We'll keep going.
We'll keep going. But what if we change our perception and said, what if I just brought that same energy that I did when I first met my husband?
Yeah.
You're going to create that twinkle, that energy,
Yeah.
and keep that fire going.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to give one last tip to you in the audience on losing weight if you're serious. Not you, but the world.
I got you.
You already look fly, girl.
Oh, yeah,
you look fly. All right, now, imagine me and you go camping.
That is an imagination, by the way.
Right. I like glamping.
I'm a glamper, too.
Okay, she's a glamper. Woo. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So the instructor gives you and I the same exact size log of wood.
Okay.
Right? Picture that. Think of that as food. Right? Big meal. Now, here's the difference. You stick to your meal, your log, and you'll notice your fire is burning very slow. Think of that fire as metabolism.
Okay.
Now, I take my same exact log and I cut it up into 5 different chips. Think of that as small little meals. 7 o'clock in the morning, it's burning really high, my fire. I look over at Alicia, and guess what? Your fire is burning really slow. In 2-3 hours, I feed it again, another chip, burning. My metabolism's on fire. I'm naturally burning fat. Where you, by the time I finish my log that's burnt off, you're still burning that same original one. So if anyone is truly, and I mean truly serious about losing weight, it doesn't start at the gym. It doesn't start by eating or doing keto or Ozempic. It starts by mentally first and eating smaller meals throughout the day and test it out. If you do this for 2 weeks consecutively, you will lose anywhere from 1 to 5 pounds.
Depending on how much,
without working out, because everything in life is a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
I can go to Puerto Vallarta with you and your family and my whole crew, and you'd be like, but I want to eat and drink tequila. I'll be like, fine, but I'm freaking eating clean the whole day, 200, 300 calorie snacks. So when people ask me and see me outside, they're like, Jay, how are you eating fries and burgers and look like that in your mid-40s? I'm like, Because the rest of the time I keep it caliente, baby. That's it. So
It's true.
yeah, it's it.
You're so big right now. How did you get to where you're at right now? Because we have all his information on the description of this episode to go check out his website and Caliente Fitness and everything. But talk about Caliente Fitness. We've mentioned it a few times.
Yes.
And working with the the stars and they're rich and famous because they're looking for the inside out, and you're bringing it to us as well. So it's not just for the pretty faces out there.
Absolutely. It's not about pretty faces.
It's not, yeah.
I lived in Los Angeles for 15 years, and when I moved to Los Angeles to become an actor, like millions of people in the world that go there, and I noticed, even though I had some success on different things, from supporting roles on soap operas, I was on All My Children, I did Entourage, like big, pretty cool stuff.
All great shows. I watched both of those.
Yeah, but nothing, I noticed my paychecks wasn't reflecting a lot of that. So I remember meeting a few A-listers on set, and I was sharing with some of the people on the show, like, what I used to look like. And they're like, you need to be doing that. You need to train me.
So they told you what to do.
They pretty much guided me. They're like,
isn't that cool?
Yeah. And because when you're not passionate about something,
it shows.
Right? It shows. Any job or career.
Agreed.
And I've always been an entertainer by heart. But you can still be an entertainer and help people change. So I started working with different celebrities. I created my own workout DVDs. We're talking years ago, where like late night, like kind of like Body by Jake had infomercials. I had infomercials.
Yeah.
Programs such as Sexercise. Sexercise was one of my global hits. I was on the Steve Harvey Show, Adam Carolla. I've worked with Jillian Michaels, some of the biggest in the game. And I've gotten the respect because when you hear the name, say, for example, Sexercise, you're thinking, oh, my God, and baby Jesus.
Right. I did, actually.
Yeah. Oh, see what I'm saying? It's helping men and women get their sexy back, right? After you hit 35, you've had kids, you kind of lose your edge a little bit. Yeah. And I'm here to remind people, no matter how tall you are, how old you are, what you're going through in life, you can bring sexy.
You can.
The sexy is inside of us.
Yeah.
It's inside of all of us. Yeah. It's up to us. You ever seen a woman or a man that's significantly overweight, but they walk around like they're models? Confidence. And you said it right there. So I started off with 6-minute workouts for people, whether they're 300 pounds, 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And all of my programs are incremental. 6 minutes, 12 minutes, 24, all the way to 36. Most people get intimidated with workouts.
Yes.
I don't want to sign up to the Zumba because it's an hour. How about we start slow? Let's start with 6, then 12 minutes. I trick people, and it's the truth. I'm not lying to people. I trick people into getting into shape.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth.
You're good at it, like a magician. So tell me, what is Caliente Fitness?
Caliente Fitness is...
Caliente. I tried.
Caliente. Lo dijiste perfecto. Alicia, por favor.
I told you, it's the southern accent in me.
Está perfecto. Mira, Caliente Fitness is a global wellness and fitness brand, helping thousands of people through the years, but most importantly, currently, that truly want to shape up mentally, emotionally, and physically to conquer their life, their relationships with themselves, others, and then their body. Notice how I leave the body in the back.
Yeah, you do. And I think that's really important because we forget that is what we see. So that's all we can focus on, and that's where we see the results because it's physical sight. Whereas everything else mentally and emotionally takes so much time, you don't see those. So for someone, I'm very open about this. I've been in therapy for almost 4 years now, and it's now I'm seeing the results of that consistency of my behavior changers or my reactiveness. When you're talking about that 3-second reactiveness and stuff like that, it's calmed down. But it's taken me this long to be like, wait, a few years ago when that situation happened, I would have done this.
Yes.
So it is hard to remember the changes you make when you've been in such a bad place for so many years. And so I tell everyone, when you start therapy or anything you do, it took you 40 years to be messed up. You're not going to be fixed in 4 months.
Amen.
And so like you can be fixed in years, not 40 years, but at the same time, it's that consistency. So that's the hardest thing about when we are focusing on the whole package, we can only see one thing right away. And that's our physical appearance.
Right, and that's our ego.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And to go back to what you asked me, what is Caliente Fitness, I explained. But half of that and what I've done for the past 8 years is as a performance coach. That's where I hit into the life, the relationships portion of it. And it takes skill, lots of hard work, and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars just on learning psychology.
Yeah.
Psychology.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you have like a major or anything like in therapy or like in that sense, or just reading all this stuff about it?
Well, even though my background's in PR and marketing, that's what I went to college for. Even though I quit high school, I went back and I got that. I ended up, after I changed physically in so many people, and like I told you, I've helped people lose a lot of weight, but they still weren't happy. I said, something's got to give. I started studying psychology. I got certified as being a life coach, 180 hours. I needed to do this. Something wasn't right. Most people, since they don't heal from the inside out, it's so easy to get a nose job, breast implants,
tummy tucks, everything, liposuction, all that.
And notice a pattern here in our society. When you're watching reality TV, and no hate on reality because I did many reality shows in the past, you see the Kardashians, you see X, you see what, and you're like, oh, that's socially acceptable. Why should I do anything less than? Let me cure the outside first. Maybe then it'll help. Look, I've worked with women in the past that got the whole shebang, head to toe, the mommy makeover.
Yeah.
And they were attracting lots of men. Here's the issue. They were getting used and abused.
Yeah, because they were emotionally broken.
Yep. And they're like, oh my God, they only want to sleep with me, Jason. They like my chest and they like my booty. And I'm like, yeah, because you have no boundaries. You have no self-respect for yourself. And unless you fill that void by finally working on yourself, you're going to attract. Like, remember when I said earlier, the law of attraction?
Yeah.
You get what you put out, right?
Right.
Sometimes, say you healed, we attract people that are in much desperate need of becoming.
Well, that's what you first said. You have to change your friends. You have to change your habits. You have to change your routine in every aspect of life to make those changes last. And that includes those people too.
Longevity.
Yeah.
The issue, we go back to it. If we were to call this episode anything, it's called longevity is the key to success. Consistency is the key to success. Anything less than, don't waste your time. Do you know how crappy it feels? Like, I've worked with different companies like dating apps that help out as a relationship coach. Do you know how sad it is when 8 out of 10 men and women, but specifically women, they will only go on dates with people if they fit an exact, the man fits. I've met women, true story, that literally, unless the guy's 6'5", XYZ, but then they'll meet a guy that's 5'10", right? And I'm hear me out. They're like, wow, but he's got an awesome personality. I'm like, okay, now you're talking. Is the personality going to keep you going, or is the body going to keep you going? Because you see all these sexy women and men on television. Ooh, I want that. But is that sustainable?
So we had a matchmaker on, and she said the same thing, and she said the same thing you do. She goes, I don't let people not go on dates outside of their XYZ, because she goes, they're missing opportunities on that. So it's the fact that you said that she's a matchmaker that does that. She goes, yeah, but guess what? He's great at this, and he has this quality that you like, but he doesn't have these two. And she said 9 times out of 10, they go out for a second, third, sometimes more dates, because they went out of what their expectations.
And we live in a society where we all assume, we're creatures of habit. You ever notice you'll see the really pretty girl would say, I don't know, guy, maybe he's chubby or bald or whatever, or vice versa. And no one ever stops to think, what if he treats that woman like gold? Yeah. What if he makes her feel heard? Yeah. Right? That same mindset is what we need to have to conquer, right, everything else in life. Because if we think that by doing the shots, by doing the breast implants, the tummy tucks is going to give us the happiness, you're in for a rude awakening. Yeah. And it's going to haunt you. It's going to hurt you. And like I've told you, I've worked with clients that get used and abused, right? So if you're going to change, do it for you.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, it won't last.
Yeah. I know people, and I don't want to call people out because I know they're going to be watching and listening to this, that are doing things for acceptance.
Yeah. And I think that's where it starts. But it goes back to your whole mantra of, it can start there that you want to do this to fit in, but at the end of the day, you're only going to be successful because you realize you're doing it for you. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, you have to do it for you. Yeah. Because when you get the body, are you doing it because, oh my God, I'm getting all this attention, which is nice. Yeah. But if you're not doing it for you, believe me, you get comfortable dating somebody or your friends, you're going to gain that weight back and some.
Yeah, that's true. There's always that comfort weight, we call it.
And that's okay. And it's better to date someone that loves you for you.
Yeah.
Right? I don't like skinny dippies. Do you know how many skinny, anorexic type girls that are attracted to me? And I'm like, I can't do it.
It's not healthy to you.
It's not healthy to me. That doesn't mean no shade. Just
Yeah.
like I know people that don't date people of XYZ, that's fine. We all have our preferences.
Right.
But if we don't keep an open mind and ask ourselves, wait a minute, I have this huge quota of how things need to be for, say, how I look or how the person has to look.
Yeah.
But is that going to make me happy in the long haul? Or do you know how many guys I've worked with? They date hot girls that are a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well,
they got fake this, fake that. And he just wants to be socially approved by everybody around. And I'm like, dude, you're a dip. Drop the mic.
I love it. You've brought it up a few times. I want your personal opinion on all of these diet, drugs, and shots and everything out there. What is your personal opinion on it? And I want two perspectives. For someone that is morbidly obese, to jumpstart something for them, and for someone that maybe not needed, if they just worked a little harder, they could get the same results and not need something when it comes to this.
For someone that's morbidly obese, it's easy for me to say, yes, go ahead and do the shots. Now, let's just sit with that feeling. When someone's in major pain and so overweight, and Lord knows I've been there, and there's people that have been in way worse situations than me, I want to ask them, have you tried eating mindfully?
Yeah.
Have you tried, even if it's just stepping on the little stepper at home?
Yeah.
I would refuse, and I know it sounds mean, right? Because I can say this because I was that fat, obese kid. Unless they actually put some work in, I'm going to hold onto this Ozempic pen and be like, show me that you've done whatever you need to do. If they have no success, absolutely, brother. Yeah. Absolutely, sister. Here it is, right? Anyone that is like thousands of people, God, and I've seen so many in Scottsdale, I've seen that used to be pretty chunky monkey, and now they're like, hello. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell did you do? I don't see you at the gym. I don't see you here. Oh, yeah, I went to Costa Rica and, and Bali and And they're like, and we met this holistic master and he gave us these liquids. I'm like, yeah, we know what liquids you did. Oh, come on. You see the damn bags under their eyes. And let's talk about Ozempic. So to answer your question, no. Even though I'm not a doctor, and don't take my word for it.
Right, and that's why I said it's your personal opinion. I made that very clear.
Not a doctor. This is based also on people that have gone through it. Yeah. Right? And being in the wellness space, as I am, you hear about it very often. If you are going to do Ozempic, it's something because you've done anything and everything in your power. And what we're failing to realize is you're going to eat your own muscle and bone structure away. They did a study, and look it up on Google, where people that did Ozempic for several months at a time, they were losing weight on the scale, which is what I told you, please do not rely on the scale. They were actually losing muscle mass like crazy, bone structure. So think about it. We need collagen, which we get from food and vitamins. We need nutrients, right? That's what how does a plant survive? How does a human survive in the same format? By you starving yourself, because that's what it does. It causes you to kill your appetite and not eat enough. Right. You're going a drug. You're reliant on a drug to keep you high. That's like if you were to be taking this glass of water right here and say it's pure caffeine. Oh, did I lose weight? Yes, I did. Okay, I keep. And then by the time you're falling apart, do you think you're going to be sustainable, strong? You need power. And no, we're not talking about women to be bodybuilders. We need strength as warriors, not the victims like, oh, I tried everything and they do. Ooh. Yeah. It's not all excuses. And the scary part is too new to know what the long haul effects of Ozempic will do. So why not holistically? Don't be lazy. Get off your fucking fat ass and do something about it. Yeah. And I like what you said too, Jason. It's like, just go up and down on your step stool a few times. Like, start moving. And you have them underneath the desk. Walk around the block, Yes. They even have, remember those... the sitting bikes or whatever. They have them for home. It's like $12 My mom has one,
Yeah.
you know, while she's like on her breaks. Like she's 70. Oh, it's my mom's birthday, February 12th. Today's her birthday.
That's awesome.
Happy birthday, mama. Te quiero mucho. 74.
So let me ask you, your mom taught
Yes.
you bad eating habits in that sense. Have you taught her how to cook better and feed herself better?
Yes. What a great segue. And I will send you the photo, before and after photos. I'm no BSer. Yes, after all this went down and she saw how much I changed myself and others, she jumped on the bandwagon and I helped her lose 75
Oh my
pounds as
gosh.
well. Yeah, and it was actually 78. So my mom went, I believe it was a size 16, 18. She went to a 10.
Wow.
Okay. Never got super skinny, but for her body type, it's healthy.
Yeah.
And we ended up working together. She's been on different shows, and she actually was my inspiration for my second book called Yummy Healthy Dinners, available on Amazon.
Yeah.
And it's all, look, you know where we all gain weight is at dinner time.
Yes.
It's where we unite with our family, our husband, our wife. And I created different, simple 15 recipes, which I'll give you a copy.
Love it.
And you just literally enjoy the food so much,
Yeah.
but you don't feel as guilty and put nearly as much carbs and this and that. And one of the biggest endorsements I got was from Adam Carolla that
Because he's close with his mom a lot.
yeah, and he loved my stuffed bell peppers.
Okay.
And
I
it's
love
like
stuffed
having
peppers.
pizza,
Yeah.
but you know, with the peppers,
Yeah.
you know, and you're eliminating the carbs. And let me tell you something, even though my mom has surgery. She has a huge back surgery coming up in 2 weeks, right? For her lower back. Even though she's gained weight through doing steroid shots, because it happens, like what happened to me, my mom knows she's done it before. She'll do it again.
Yeah. That's awesome. So you changed her mindset. That's what's it. She changed her mindset.
Yes, and it's the confidence.
Yeah.
If anyone watching or listening right now does even half of the tips I gave, and they lost weight, please write and let Alicia or me know. Because I want to give somebody out here, a listener, a watcher, I want to give them one of my programs, but they have to show me proof, right? That they got on the scale, they took a freaking photo or a pair of pants, that they lost something. And I'm going to give you one of my top selling programs.
There you go.
On behalf of Alicia.
I love it.
Scottsdale Vibes.
I love it. I love it. Listen, you have a lot of value. I love your enthusiasm, but I love your purpose behind the message. And I love the whole health aspect and not just focusing on the physical aspect of it, because I think that's the biggest turn to success is the whole deal.
Yes.
So good for you.
Yeah.
Before we leave, my favorite question, what's your favorite Scottsdale vibe?
My favorite Scottsdale vibe would have to be waking up, feeling the cool breeze of the air, and by 11, 12 o'clock, getting that vitamin D sunshine.
Yeah.
Making me want to take off my clothes. And then next thing you know, start doing the lambadita and say, it's good to be alive. It's good to be in Scottsdale, baby.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Will you wake up tomorrow morning and do that after listening to this? And send Jason a message. He'll be there.
I took off my clothes. You
took off my
inspired
clothes.
me to take it off at 12
We're going to be
o'clock.
like seeing people out in Scottsdale taking off their clothes and enjoying vitamin D or something like that. It's all going to be Jason. Come after him. Thank you seriously for what you do. We have all of the information in the description of this episode, so be sure to click it on his links for his website, his Instagram. We'll do stuff for the book as well. When we come back, we'll have the calendar of events, so stay tuned. When it comes to protecting you, your family, and all your assets, you need to have someone that you can trust, and that's Jeremy Mueller of State Farm Insurance. Jeremy Mueller has lived in Scottsdale his whole life. How can anyone else know your needs more than someone who's been here and seen it all? Jeremy and his team are always ranked in the top % at State Farm. He cares, he's knowledgeable, and most importantly, he's always available. Don't believe me? Give him a call at 480-515-5223 or find him at jeremymueller.com. We are in full swing, and yes, I use that pun because I love those kind of things. For spring training, baseball is happening all around town, so go get your tickets, Cactus League's website, as well as in the description of this episode. For all of you out there who loved a good celebration, Persian New Year is happening. It's go get your tickets. It's happening at Scottsdale Civic Center. It starts from 2 to 10, so there'll be events. There will be concerts. There'll be delicious food. Eat healthy, because Jason will probably be watching us. Do not walk around naked when it's beautiful outside getting your vitamin D. You can do that at home as well. But Sun and Sounds is also happening at Scottsdale Civic Center, where their free Sunday concerts are happening. So go enjoy live music, be with your community. Go enjoy that beautiful green area in the Scottsdale Civic Center. They're doing a great job with it. Have a wonderful week, Scottsdale. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.